Ooh, shit.
You all right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's good to see you, my brother. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing well. Hope you are.
I am. And
Hey, man, it's good to be back here.
it's been a long time.
Yeah, it has. We are back, y'all.
We're back. We had hey, how was your Christmas as a Jewish man?
Oh, it was great. How was yours?
Mine was great as a Jewish man as well.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we really didn't do anything. We just had the family over. That was great.
Do you actually? So even though you don't celebrate Christmas,
Wait. Is this a legitimate question? Are you?
Yeah. No, but because I know you have the Christmas holiday because everything shut down.
Right.
So even though you're Jewish, you still have the family over since you have the vacation time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so it works out for everybody.
Yeah, we met at my mother's, and she ordered a meal from Lowe's or one of those places like that, and it was great. All the grandchildren, my brother, and my wife, and my mama, and Dewbug,
Man, that's a lot of people.
Ems, Bo, Teddy. Yeah.
So many people in the house.
Yeah. But it was nice. How about you? What did you do?
It was good. I went up to Ohio and saw Carmen's family for a couple of days.
Carmen.
Carmen, my love and my boo, my bunny. Went to see her family for a couple of days and then came back on Christmas Day to see my family.
Good deal.
Yeah, traveling on Christmas is not so bad because it's very little traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I upgraded myself to first class.
Did you?
Yeah.
Your first time in first class?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, come on now.
Oh,
of course not.
I forgot who the fuck I was talking to.
Exactly.
My bad, man.
No,
I was about to ask you, did you drive? You didn't drive it.
No, we did drive up, but then I flew back because I needed to get to my family by Christmas Day.
Oh,
and,
by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So I upgraded, and I think it was about 8:30 in the morning when I got on the plane. And immediately got a drink.
There you
By
go.
the time we landed in Charlotte, I had 4 drinks.
There you go. That's what it's there for.
That was Christmas.
Awesome.
Right there. That was my Christmas present to myself.
Who'd you fly?
I flew American Airlines.
Good deal. You're keeping my daughter in business. I appreciate
Well, it was
your
a tiny
business.
little plane, though. Tell her that CJ 900, whatever I flew on.
It didn't have props. It wasn't a prop plane, was it?
No. But it's not the big plane. And the seats are too uncomfortable. I mean, they're better than the cabin. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be in the main cabin.
Right.
However, it's not really that different than the main cabin on that plane. I mean, you just got a little wider seat. The best part is just the attention from.
They do. You give you hot towels.
From the no,
you didn't get the hot towels.
What I got was 4 drinks back to back. I think she was getting a little sick of me constantly asking for drinks.
No. That's their job.
That's their job? They don't mind? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, today is January 15th of 2024. I never thought I'd make it this far.
You didn't?
No, I never really thought I'd make it this far. I
did.
I know you think you're going to live until 150.
20.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. 20.
Yeah. Long time.
Yeah.
But today we got some stuff to talk about. We are going to talk briefly about the Michigan Wolverines. Go blue, baby. Go blue. Never saw it. I actually did not see it coming. So
yes,
this
you
is.
Did.
I didn't. I told you on this podcast I did not think that they would beat Georgia, and they never ended up playing Georgia.
No,
so,
that was what. Yeah, that wasn't even.
So I wasn't actually wrong because I didn't play them.
Yeah, but if they would have.
But I appreciate you telling me that. I know that you were happy for me.
I was.
And I know that's hard for you.
I like Michigan.
I know you do. You like every team.
Yeah, I think, and I've said this before, and I'm going to let you finish, but I think when Michigan, UCLA, USC, Penn State, when those guys are good, it's good for college football. I've always said that. I've told you that before.
I agree, but did you want Michigan to be at the pinnacle, at the top? Number 1, numero uno.
I like Michigan. I do. I genuinely like Michigan. I liked them when Bo Schembechler was there.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was back in the Back in the old days.
I like Charles Woodson. I like when,
Oh, now you're talking good stuff.
Oh, man. Yeah,
but this year was a great year. Aside from the scandal that we had to talk about, that wasn't really a scandal.
Yeah.
I think the farther we get away from it, we realize how it wasn't as much of a big deal as people were making it sound like. So, hey, all I care about is we got it. I don't ever, I know Harbaugh's probably gone. McCarthy is declaring for the NFL. He was the quarterback. Next year, I'm going to care and I'm going to be upset. But right now, and I never thought this was going to happen again in my lifetime.
What?
Because it happened in 97 when we got the national championship.
Right.
I never thought it'd happen again. So right now, I'm just going to bask in the glory of what is the Michigan Wolverines.
My friend.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It was a lot of fun.
I was really pulling for it. It was a good, great game.
It was a tense game until the last quarter.
It was.
Very tense game. So anyway, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who's listening. I know you all cared and you were rooting for me. I actually had, during the Alabama game, your wife text me to make sure I was okay because it was such a tense game. And that's valid because, I guess I can get a little crazy during these games, but I was actually pretty calm. Calm. Well, yeah, because I'm old now. It's like, come what may, the next day I wake up, like, look, we got the national championship. I woke up the next day. I'm still me. I still got to go to work.
Yeah, you got to rub ass.
I didn't get to go. I didn't get to go have a parade. No one gave me anything. I didn't get a pony.
And you're talking about future millionaires.
Yeah, some of them millionaires right now.
Yes. Oh, talking about NIL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Michigan's not really that involved in the NIL, but that's neither here nor there. Thank you, everyone. Michigan Wolverines forever. 2023 champs.
Go blue.
Go blue. All right, now. Today, I like to talk. You sent me a message on what to talk about, and I would like to talk about this. So I got to say right away, happy MLK Jr. Day.
Thank you. Same to you, my friend.
Is that weird to say happy?
Yeah, I know it is. You could spend a whole entire podcast talking about MLK, but we could never say anything different from what everyone else has said. Amazing man. Listen to this. Check this out. I was 2 years old when he was assassinated. April 4th, 1968.
Yeah.
I was 2 years old.
Yeah, probably you probably don't remember it.
You know what? And some people have asked me that before. Here's what I do remember. I remember the mood. I knew something was, I don't remember, I don't have, vivid memories like my older brother does. He remembers exactly where he was. Actually, my older brother remembers when Kennedy was assassinated. He was in school. They let him out. But I remember something going on around the house. I knew it was, quite obviously my parents were distraught when the drum major of peace was assassinated. So I think, I say this a lot, if it had not been for Martin Luther King Jr., you and I may not be sitting here. I wouldn't be married to the woman I've been with for 35 years. I wouldn't have 2 beige kids and beige grandparents.
And they're so pretty. They're so pretty. You know how I feel about beige babies.
Yeah. No, how do you feel about beige babies?
I feel like they are the future. Beige is the future.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, or mother of pearl.
Like it's mother of pearl.
Isn't that a color?
I feel like that's all white babies. Mother of pearl.
That's like off-white, right?
Pearl is like pearl.
Oh,
pearl. It's like old grandmas wear. What are you talking about? Pearl. I'm just talking about beige babies are beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful beige babies. They're the future. They are the future because let me tell you, one, I don't want to talk too much about your family, but they are all beautiful. Well, they do have beautiful eyes, beautiful skin. Look, I've seen a lot of ugly white kids. So maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to turn the nation beautiful.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm just talking some bullshit. So anyway, let's talk about Martin Luther King Jr. So
okay.
everybody just skip over what I just said because I was just kidding. I mean, but no, I have seen ugly white kids.
Yeah. I've seen ugliness across all the racial lines.
I know, but I'm only allowed to talk about the white ones.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. So Martin Luther King Jr. is very important. You're right. We probably would not be sitting across. Well, somebody would have come along and done something, but he was special in many ways, right? Like the peaceful protest. But let's talk about why it's important here. We're sitting here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yes.
I did not know that he came here twice.
He did. He came here. He came to Wake Forest College. And they said that it was standing room only. And he gave one of the most prolific speeches they had ever heard.
That you can still listen to if you go to Wake Forest. I think you can go on their website,
right.
Wake Forest University, and find his speech. You can at least get it in their library. I know you can get it from the library.
Okay. I didn't know that. He also came to Greensboro, if I'm not mistaken. And he met with the students at Bennett College, the Bennett Bells, I think they were called, and spoke to them, and they were just. Can you imagine that?
No.
I mean, think about it. You're sitting there and you're talking about, having the basic fundamental rights with this legend. I wonder if those people they knew he was special. They knew there was something about him. But can you imagine having a conversation with Martin Luther King? I mean, really, that just blows my mind. Someone say, "Oh yeah, I knew Martin Luther King and this and that." I'm like, "What the?" So what was that like? And he like,
"What do you know anybody who actually?"
I do.
That knew him.
Yes.
What did they say he was like?
Some called him a prophet.
Do you really think he was?
Do I think he was?
That's what. Yeah, you're the only person in the room.
Small. I do. I think he was a modern day prophet. I think he, just like anyone else, he had his flaws. Everyone knows that. I mean, there's no secret about that. But.
Well, I just heard. I mean, there's the woman that he has women on the side. Maybe.
All right. Well,
that's all I've heard. I haven't heard anything else though.
No. Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. That's what I was. So yeah, but so did Kennedy. So
So did Kennedy. So did.
But who didn't was Malcolm X.
Well, but he was very strict.
Yes.
Very strict. But his leader, the one
Elijah Muhammad.
He had plenty of women.
He did.
So it's a little hypocritical, which is why Malcolm X stopped following him.
Exactly. You are up on your shit,
dude. Do you know why though? It's off topic, but it's because I was such a big Muhammad Ali fan.
Oh, were you?
Watching Muhammad Ali.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, and he always brought up Elijah Muhammad, the great. What did he call him? The great prophet Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah, yeah.
And he turned on Malcolm X.
He did.
And that's bad. That was his biggest regret in his life.
It was. The holy apostle Elijah Muhammad. And that's one of the, and see, here's the argument a lot of people like to make, not an argument, but they say, who would you rather have, MLK or Malcolm X? Well, they're two different leaders. I mean, they were two different personalities. One believed in nonviolence, and the other one believed in any means necessary. If you put your hands on me, I'll make sure you won't put your hands on anyone else.
That's true, but there is also, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be, that Martin Luther King Jr. wanted integration. He wanted to hold hands, little black boys and little black girls and all that stuff. Whereas the I Have a Dream speech. Right. So he wanted integration, whereas that is not what the black Muslims wanted. They wanted separate. They wanted to keep black people should be with black people. We should have our own away from.
Right.
So there were the two ways of thought. So they were kind of against each other in a weird way.
They only met one time, and it was briefly. And so but here's the thing that you may not know, is when Malcolm X felt that way, he wanted black empowerment, which who didn't at that time. But he wanted, when he went to Mecca and he went on a Hajj and he came back, he saw that when he was in Mecca, he saw that he had Muslim brothers that looked different from him. So he was when he got there, he was like, well, whoa, I have a white brother that's a Muslim like me. And so he changed his whole mindset about integration. He said, what we need to empower ourselves before we can integrate into white society, but what we need to do is get our shit together, for lack of a better word, until we can't get no black unity, black and white unity until we get black unity.
Yeah. And then, so he comes back saying that, and he's saying, hey, the Prophet Muhammad, he is wrong. Then you have Muhammad Ali go against him.
Yes.
So my question is, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Let's stick with this, because so he actually visited, I have here, Wake Chapel at Wake Forest University.
Yes.
On October 11th, 1962. That is early. That's when JFK was here. Still president.
Oh, you mean in the White House?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not here in Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem, okay.
Although I think he probably did come through North Carolina. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he ever passed through Winston-Salem.
Really?
George Washington did.
Yeah, he stayed in Old Salem.
Everybody's got somewhere where George Washington stayed. Bullshit. Anyway, that is the story. So, but at that speech, so he was.
Hey, you know what? Did you know this little tidbit of history? I'm gonna say it right quick. He got caught pneumonia, right?
Yes.
He was going down to the slave quarters to diddle one of the slaves, and he got pneumonia.
This is not true.
Yeah.
Is it? What? That's how he died?
Yes. He died of pneumonia.
I thought he died because they kept bloodletting him and he had an infection.
They were bloodletting him because he had pneumonia. But
now, how do you know it was because he was diddling a slave?
I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. Was
this written down?
Yeah.
This is not written down.
This is oral history.
That's some bullshit. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I never read that before. I know he came down with pneumonia.
All right.
So anyway, on October 11th, 1962, JFK is still here in the White House.
Right.
And his speech was about integration of the South. And it was big, like you said, standing room only. Wake Forest University.
I know.
I'm actually impressed with them. I mean, that's our local university. I mean, it's a fairly conservative, and liberal university.
It is now, yeah. It is now.
But then in April 13th, 1964, so JFK is now gone, Lyndon Johnson, he visited here in Winston-Salem on 4th Street, apparently.
Right.
Goler Metropolitan AME Zion Church.
Yes, he did.
Is that still here?
It is. Goler's, yeah. I think so. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. That's a big church. I mean, a huge church.
So only over 1,000 people attended. Yes. And it focused on voting and nonviolent protests.
Yes.
Nonviolent. Not like January 6th. Nonviolent.
Right.
Protests.
And, a lot of people say, what if the Palestinians practice nonviolent protests like that? Would their plight be further advanced? Would they get more because they have the world watching them? Instead of engaging in violence, which Israelis engaging in violence on them. But I'm just saying, what if they took that track of nonviolence and protests as far as boycotting, But here again, I'm answering my own question. It's hard to do that if you boxed into an area. Too many people boxed into a little area. So what are you boycotting?
Well, and also, I mean, if we're going to get onto that, how do they nonviolent protest now? I mean, the cat's out of the bag. I mean, it's over with now.
Right.
I mean, but that's neither here nor there. Because that's already started. But I gotta say, I mean, he was an amazing man.
Oh my god!
Came down here to Winston-Salem. I mean, obviously, I'm a white guy descended from. My parents were in Ohio. I lived in Michigan. Not a whole lot of. There's of course racism in the North. That's obviously, but where we were from, I wasn't from the Detroit area, you know. So you come down here. And here's the thing. When I first got here in 1983, I was only 5, but I do remember going to school, and even my parents, they were kind of surprised because in 1983, President Reagan, your favorite person. So he actually, but he did sign a bill saying, "Hey, this is going to be Martin Luther King."
I was shocked.
Junior Day.
Yes.
And that was in 1983, but it wasn't, so it was signed into law, but it didn't go into observation until 1986.
Right.
Now, I remember my parents saying like, "Oh, it's weird, like no one celebrates it down here." Now, but here's the thing. North Carolina was actually one of the first to observe it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in 1983, North Carolina made it a holiday, but it was unpaid. But it took effect as a paid holiday in 1987, and that's when schools started closing. But here's the thing. I went to a private school. I don't remember mine closing.
What private school did you go to?
I went in Clemens. I just went to a small little
not Bishop
Christian
McGinnis,
school.
nothing like that.
No. I went to Our Lady of Mercy Catholic school for 2 years.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. I mean, that was so long ago. But I do remember that not a whole lot, and you would know better than I would. You're just a little bit older than I am. That it didn't seem like MLK Jr. Day was very widely observed at all.
Oh, no, but you got to keep in mind there was a lot of resistance to making that a national holiday.
Yeah, it took 2 decades. It wasn't until 2000.
Right.
That
and Arizona was the last state to recognize it.
Which is weird. Why so racist in Arizona?
Why is there racism anywhere?
Well, that's a very good topic for a different day.
Yeah, I mean, we could go all day about that.
It's just funny though, because North Carolina, here we are. We're not deep south here. We're kind of a purple state sometime.
Yeah.
But I was actually proud that they took it on so fast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, man, like I said, we could go all day long about Martin Luther King Jr.
Why don't we? We got plenty of time.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it was, the man was amazing. I mean, just, and by the way, there's a play here by the little theater called Mountaintop, and it features, I would encourage anyone to go see it, look it up on the website, but it talks about Martin Luther King if he had lived, and it's a different perspective of Martin Luther King. This Martin Luther King you see in the play is totally different from the image you have of Martin Luther King.
Like, how do you mean though?
It's a lot of. I read the script because at one point I was told that I may play the part of Martin Luther King. So I read the script. It's a little more. It has he curses a lot in this, and it's from the perspective of a woman cleaning a hotel or something like that, and he comes in and she's talking to him, and evidently she's like a angelic person coming to take him. Say, hey, listen, you don't have much time. I'm coming to get you. And he has a conversation with her, and he doesn't realize she's an angel.
Usa is kind of like an angel of death.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, I don't want to give too much of it away, which I already have, but the play is called Mountaintop. And actually, Samuel L. Jackson did the play. I don't know if it was on Broadway, but Samuel L. Jackson played this part of Martin Luther King.
I could not see him.
It was strange. You could pull it up on YouTube. It was really odd, him playing Martin Luther King. First of all, he's too tall. Second of all, but Samuel Jackson is a Morehouse grad like Martin Luther King was. So what are you going to do?
Well, what are you going to do? I don't see that portrayal. But but Winston-Salem, I knew that he came to the South, and I mean, about Alabama, about Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
all this, and it would take bravery back then. I think we kind of, it's been so long now since he was murdered, since the civil rights movement. Even though we're still having things going on today that are absolutely,
it's not done by any means.
No, it's not even close. But I think we all take for granted how. Okay, so remember that day that we were talking, and I don't want to bring it up too much, but we started talking about the black Hebrew. Okay, all right, that's all I'm gonna say. That's it. We're done. Good people, right? Good people. But there was fear, right? It's like, oh, I don't want to talk about anything that could get me in trouble.
Right.
There's a lot of that.
There was real fear in the room.
But back then in the 60s, you got a guy who's a preacher who decides to take on not just the U.S. government. He's taking on all of white America, who runs everything in America.
Yes.
And while he was doing it peacefully, and that takes, man, that I cannot even. I know other people have talked about how much courage it would take to do it. And then to know he came to these two places right here in town that I walk by there all the time. I see, and I didn't even know he was there.
Yeah.
And this church still stands here.
Yeah. And like I said, it's one of the biggest churches in Winston-Salem. And and think about this. It was said that when Malcolm X and Martin Luther King met each other and they shook hands, is allegedly Malcolm X looked at Martin Luther King, and you know what he said? We're both dead men. No, seriously.
No, I believe it.
Yeah. And Martin Luther King knew he wasn't going to live, a long life. In one of his speeches, he said that.
Isn't that what all the greats did, though? I mean, all the greats. You think about it, Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr. He had a vision of his own death.
She sure did.
JFK had a vision of his own death.
Bobby Kennedy did.
I didn't know about Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby did. Bobby knew he wasn't going to live a long life either. He knew that because what he was doing, he was pushing. These guys changed people's way of life. They shook up the status quo, and so you're changing some way. The way people live. You mean to tell me I don't have to get off the sidewalk anymore when someone white is walking towards me, or especially if it was a white female?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My mom had a story about that when we first moved down here, and I can't remember it too well. But apparently she was walking downtown, and she was with my grandmother, and they were looking for something. I think they were looking for the courthouse. I don't remember what the story was. But they asked a guy, he's on the road, and of course he's a black gentleman. And they asked him, hey, where are we going? And, how do we get this place? And he said he would take them. He would show them the way, but they started walking next to him. He's like, you can't be walking next to me. Now, this is in the 80s.
What?
Yeah, that's what the story was. But this guy was older, so, he'd been around.
Yeah.
And you said, things in the 80s, they were still a little bit.
It was sketchy back in the 80s. You just didn't, people were doing things literally behind closed doors.
Yeah, and you're only 12 years away from his murder, in 1980.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was still, you couldn't go certain places. In dating a white girl?
How'd you get away with that?
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm badass.
Yeah, but no one threatened you?
No.
Or anybody?
Man, please.
That's because everybody likes you.
I wouldn't go that far, but messing with me because of that, it's like, shit, I don't know, kicking a puppy. You can do it, but why? So.
Well, I think that's how most people would feel about their relationships or their life.
What?
That why mess with me? But, people mess with you just to mess with you.
Oh, I know. And plus, it didn't hurt the fact that I had a gun. So, there you go.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Well, that cleared that up. Don't mess with the black man with the gun.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
I was taught by a police officer.
That was your dad?
Yes.
Yeah. But I just want to wrap up with this because there's not a whole lot to say other than I'm glad that they have this observation day. It is weird though because they just picked a random day. It's not the day that he died, and it's not the day of his birthday. Just a random Monday in January.
Let me tell you a quick story. I was working in Atlanta, and I was doing some some HUD work in Atlanta when I was with the city. And so
And HUD is, can you tell everybody?
Housing and Urban Development. And I used to be a fair housing investigator in a different life. So we had a conference in Atlanta, and it was off of Peachtree Street. And Sarah flew up to see me, and we walked to Ebenezer Baptist Church. And let me tell you, we walked in there. It was wide open, which is crazy to me.
And Ebenezer Baptist Church
Yes, this is where Martin Luther King and his dad, Big Daddy King, were ministers. And Martin Luther King preached, that's one of the churches he was a minister of. And D, let me tell you, it was it was like a light, a glow. And it was just Sarah and myself in that church. And we sat in the front. And they still have the podium where he gave some of his famous speeches. And it was just me and Sarah. I said, well, how profound is this? This is what this man, this prophet was talking about. Sarah and I are sitting there. It was just us. And Sarah starts crying. And she's like, this man made some of the most beautiful speeches, and his words reached the world, not just the United States, around the world. And he said this would happen. Sarah and I are sitting there, and it happened. I mean, he said it was going to happen. It was inevitable.
Now, is it true that his I Had a Dream speech was, he came up with it on the spot? That he kind of knew what he was going to say, but then
Yes.
he ad-libbed?
Yes.
That is one of the most incredible things that I could imagine.
Oh, absolutely. And it said that the sound system and the podium and the mic and all that was purchased by none other than Bill Cosby. That's the
what?
Yes.
What?
Yes. They said Bill Cosby is the one who bought that podium. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how deep in the rapes he was in, but
Well, look, for every devil, they have some good deeds.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not roofing people, but I've done some bad things.
Right.
Of course, we've all done some bad things.
Well,
hey, let's just say that's one redeeming quality that America's dad had. He's the one who set up the podium. But in 1968, what was he famous for? That spy show?
Yeah, man, that was a big deal.
Yeah, but I thought that was the 70s. I didn't know that was the 60s.
Yeah, that was the 60s. That's a huge deal.
Man, you got a black man on TV in the 60s, and it was...
And I think it was, who was with him? George Papard, maybe?
Yeah, A-Team.
Yeah, A-Team guy. I could be wrong, but I remember that him and Diane Carroll, those were... Because we really didn't see black people on television. I mean,
What is that? Yeah, what is that? Because it's funny because you get white people now... We're getting off topic, but you get white people now who are like, I don't want to see. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like they're just throwing it up in our face.
Yeah.
Oh, there's all these black shows. It's like, what do you think it was like for black people back in the 50s, 60s, 70s?
We didn't know any better. It's just like the Jackson 5 had a cartoon in the 70s, which I loved. Yeah. And now that I look at it, it's so cheesy.
Of course it's cheesy, but you finally had, it wasn't Lawrence Welk.
Oh, my gosh.
Boy, let me tell you. So I enjoyed watching Lawrence Welk with my... Actually, okay, no. I'll say this. It's a cheesy white bread show. Mm-hmm. But my parents, they loved it. What? And so my memory... Well, because my dad liked big band music and stuff. And so there was a lot of big band. Some of the whitest singers you ever hear.
Oh, I know it.
So, I mean, you got Lawrence Welk on a certain time on Saturday night or whatever it is. And then you got Laugh-In.
Yes.
But then here you go.
And then what would come on after that?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Fucking hee-haw.
Hee-haw. I used to watch that. That's right. Of course I did. But the funny thing is, so I'm growing up and the Cosby Show was huge. I mean, there were a lot.
Yeah.
I remember it was already off the air, but I'm watching Good Times and I'm watching
the Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons.
Yes.
Nothing. See, but that's what happens when you take a kid and you expose them to that sort of thing early in life, when it's normal for me to watch the Jeffersons, Good Times.
And you can thank Norman Mailer for that, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah. it really, I think it changes. Like, it was not abnormal for me. And that's why the world has changed, because of Martin Luther King Jr.
Absolutely.
You start to have these shows. I know that those shows were still, what do you want to say? Were they slightly racist, some of these shows?
Oh, you
like
Good Times?
Like Jefferson's
Sanford and Son?
Sanford and Son. What did
No.
they play on any stereotypes that would be offensive nowadays?
We didn't think so at the time.
Because,
I mean, but
so
a
it
lot
was
of
just
things.
good to see your own.
That's what we were impressed with, and then you had after that Chico and the Man with Freddie Prinze, and so we really didn't think that, and we were just glad, like you said, we were just glad to see someone that looked like us. Now you got to keep in mind, all those shows came from All in the Family. So those were offshoots of All in the Family, right?
Which was kind of a racist show, man. But it was intentionally.
It was supposed to be that.
It was supposed to be where he was just a horrible, horrible man.
He was the biggest. I think he was a bigger bigot than you.
Come on, man. People are gonna hear that. I do say horrible things as much as I can. I'm trying to pull back though a little bit, because I used to joke all the time, but I said to Carmen, I said, we got to make this show funny. I got to come up with some MLK Jr. jokes. Is it too soon? I said, is it too soon?
Yeah.
So see, there's some things that are always going to be too soon for a white guy.
Oh yeah.
Bill Burr could pull it off because he's Irish, and
right.
and he's married to a black woman.
Yes, he is.
So he can pull it off. Me, I'm going to lay off on the MLK Jr. jokes. I have nothing but respect for him.
Yeah. What's there to joke about MLK?
Well, I don't know. I was going to come up with something, but I just didn't have that. The best joke I could have is it too soon?
Yeah.
That's a little cliche.
Oh.
But I just was really impressed when you sent me the article today about what to talk about. And today was obvious that we should talk about MLK Jr. And I guess I should say Martin Luther King.
God bless you.
Yeah, I guess I should just say his whole name because it's a little MLK. Let's talk about Martin Luther King Jr. He's got a street named after him in every town that you go to. Sometimes 2 or 3. There's a boulevard, there's a street.
You ever notice they're always in black neighborhoods though, right?
Well,
right.
I have noticed that.
Yeah.
And that's...
And the nicest one I've seen is in Wilmington, North Carolina. There's a highway, and it's right outside of Wilmington. Like, when you going into Wilmington, North Carolina, and shout out to my people in Wilmington, North Carolina. When you going into Wilmington, North Carolina from 40, you make a right in that long boulevard. It goes from, it starts like off of 20 near the airport, somewhere like that. And it's nice because there's nothing there.
Well, yeah, but then you go into if you read the news and you watch TV in Winston-Salem, MLK Drive is where all the bad stuff happens. Well, shooting on MLK Drive.
Yeah, that used to be Claremont Avenue, actually.
Oh, so you remember when it was renamed?
Oh gosh, yeah. We used to, when I was in high school, we used to hang out at the Burger King behind the Mutual building, and we used to hang out in the parking lot, and that's where it was at. If you, in high school, we would say, what you doing this weekend? Headed to the Burger King. So that was Claremont Avenue, and they renamed it MLK. I was married by the time they did that.
So that was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I wonder why they named that one, because that is it's not a bad neighborhood, but it's a bad
It's about to be gentrified. You know that, right?
Well, yes, they are buying up all the houses.
Yes.
And they are slowly getting changed.
Yes. So I'm going to let you know, East Winston, like Harlem, New York, you are about to be gentrified.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, and look, I'm all for improvements in the area, but those landlords that were slumlords,
yes,
they should have done improvements years ago. But the rent is so cheap,
Well,
but here's the thing. Rent ain't cheap no more.
No.
Down in that area.
Because, when I was living in the lofts,
oh, yeah, you were
Plant
living
64.
downtown and, ooh, the nice part.
Yeah. But when we would go to the Food Line off 311, you could see the changes. They're building these apartments, which 3/4 of the people who live there wouldn't be able to afford to live in. So they're building that for Wake Forest, because you have the med school over there in Innovation Quarters.
Innovation Quarter, yeah.
So, that is expanding. So where the Burger King, which is a Popeyes now, where we used to hang out in that parking lot, those apartments are coming. I mean, they're moving back towards that Burger King and moving into East Winston. Because I saw the strangest thing. I was going to the grocery store with my grandson, and I saw a white dude walking with a backpack going towards the Burger King, going towards East Winston. I'm like, what the? It was just strange to me. I'm like, oh, okay.
You're not supposed to be here. It's like a black man in Buena Vista.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that the stupidest thing, though?
What?
Well, that somebody could be just walking in a nice neighborhood, and if you're of the wrong color, everybody's watching you, you know?
Yeah.
White or black. If you're a white guy, because look, I told you the story where I was, I go down MLK. I have a friend down there, and made a long story short, he's a guy, this is going to sound horrible. I have a friend down there, but he does my laundry. So
of course he does.
Look, but we're friends. I actually really care about this guy.
It's just like when the women were maids. She's just like family. Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, anyway, I really care about this guy. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good man, very good man, and he lives down there. And he's a very nice gentleman. But every once in a while when you're down there, so when I first started going to see him, when I first started dropping off my laundry, I'm like the story short, he used to have a location to where I would drop it off. Well,
wait. Let's back up.
Okay.
Because people get the impression that your clothes, you're talking about for your job.
Yeah, for my job.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, make the distinction. You dropping off your drawers so somebody.
Thank you for making that distinction. My underwear I wash myself. Or I make my girlfriend wash them. So I'm just kidding. Oh, shit. Why'd I say that?
Ooh,
no, but I do my own laundry. But yeah, for my job, I have tons and tons of sheets that have to be washed. So I'll take them down to him because he got screwed by a landlord. Because what happened is it was down there on Acadia that he had that little corner laundromat. He
I remember
fixed it up. That was him.
Right.
He fixed it up. It got so nice that the landlord's like, you know what? This is so nice now that you fixed it up. I can get better rent. Get out.
Damn.
Can you believe that? That actually happened. So he struggled for a while. He got this. So now he's working. He does a different job, but he still does my laundry for me because he's a nice guy. And I would go down when I first started going down to Martin Luther King Drive, like down 3rd Street. You cross over Martin Luther King Drive and you go over to the other side.
Right.
And people look at me funny. Like, why is this guy here? And you know I'm in a little light blue Scion TC at the time. And they're like, why is this little crazy little white guy, bringing in? And they'd watch me, you get out of the car. Now,
oh yeah.
As I would hang out there longer and talk to him, and I'm standing out in the street, then people start being friendly to you. Like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
So it's all fine. We're all people,
right?
But there is a thing about separate neighborhoods, and that's what, one day. It's all going to be mixed in once we get all the beige babies.
Yeah. I mean, will we see it in our lifetime? I don't know.
I think we will.
Oh, you think so?
You said you're going to live to 150. Yes.
20.
120. Yeah,
yes.
You'll see it. I'll be dead in 10 years, so I won't.
Oh, okay. Well,
all right. So, hey.
On that note,
happy Martin Luther King Day Jr. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yeah.
Everybody, and I hope I hope that even I am next year. I'm a little more aware of the day because today I didn't even know it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day until I got to work and I realized the bank was empty.
Yeah, sure.
And then I realized. So I would say everybody be more aware. There are a lot of events out there that you can go celebrate his life.
Yeah.
And here in Winston-Salem, it's a big part of the history.
It is.
And that is what we're trying to point out, that if you get a chance to drive by the Goler Metropolitan AME Zion Church that is still there, have a little nod to history, that great man once stood there and changed history.
Preach.
Winston-Salem, we're part of it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now,
good deal.
Let's move on. We have a segment I think you all remember. And you know what it's time for? It's time for that dumb shit. Yes. It's time for that dumb shit. There we go. GC's going to give it to you. All right, what we got going on today?
Okay.
Oh, let me get your microphone up. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Now, I want you to know this is the problem.
Okay.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, everything's a problem.
It is.
All right, what's the problem?
Listen to me.
What's the problem today?
A woman in Canada was sleeping in her bed, and all of a sudden, I'm not going to take too long on this, but I just want you to know this can potentially be very, very dangerous. So a woman was sleeping in her bed in Canada, right? And her name is Stephanie Moore. Stephanie, I hope you're doing well. We wish you the best. And all of a sudden, her roof caved in on her. Now, someone who had a tree.
What?
Yes.
Just like you.
Yes. All of a sudden, her roof caved in. There was a hole in her ceiling, and the insurance company came out. You know, they did an assessment, and they say, you know, it wasn't because of trees. It wasn't because of meteorite. It was, they could not figure out, but they've narrowed it down. And you know what they think caused this? And people should be aware of this. It was blue ice.
What is blue ice?
What is blue ice?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you asked, my friend. Blue ice is frozen doo-doo that comes from planes.
No, you're talking about the blue water?
Yes, it's frozen doo-doo. So
it was, they evacuated.
That's what hit her. And if you're sleeping, most of the time when blue ice comes down, it'll dissipate before it hits, because they're so high up. So they release it, because they're about to land. They want to, get the weight off the plane. So usually it's harmless. But this time, I guess the weather, and it was cold, and it was a big ball of ice, and it went through a roof. Now, you sleeping in your bed with your woman or whoever, your significant other, and you got a big ball of doo-doo that comes down on your head. Now, no. Now, the Canadian Airlines said, hey, listen, you can't prove that it was our doo-doo. Yeah. It could have been, because, a lot of planes fly over her.
We got DNA in doo-doo.
But that's not going to.
If you check the DNA across the passenger list, somebody on that plane that day did a doo-doo.
But you don't know the back of the plane where it came out of, though. You don't know which plane. It could be an American. It could be Alaskan airline. It could be.
Wait, so they're suing that specific airline, Canadian Airline?
Yes, it was Canadian Airline, and they issued a statement, and they said they were going to a spokesman for Transport Canada said they were looking into the claim. She said the department takes all reports of possible debris, that's what they call it instead of doo-doo, coming from the aircraft very seriously. Every report incident is investigated by Transport Canada officials. Canadian aviation regulations forbid creating a hazard by dropping waste mid-flight, she added. So they're saying they're going to investigate it, and she's saying no, how else did it happen? So I just want people to be aware of what's going on.
So this doo-doo is released out of the plane, and it freezes on the way down, gets so heavy.
Yes.
But see, okay, so I just saw a video where they threw a cup of coffee out the window to show how cold it was in the Midwest right now, right? It was on the news. It was on, I don't know what it was on. It was on one of those Sunday morning shows. Mm-hmm. And when they throw it out, it just vaporizes. It turns into like dust. It looks like dust. But when they do why do they even have a door that will allow doo-doo to get out?
Because they have to dump that.
Why do they have to dump it?
Because,
why can you not wait until you get on the ground and then just suck it out like a normal person?
I think they do that too, but sometimes it gets out. I don't know how it gets out, but it gets out. But you got to keep in mind, if you're 35,000 feet up in the air and you let this water come down, it's going to turn into a ball of ice.
Especially if it's a big old log.
Yes.
I've seen some baby arms come out of people. I act like I've looked at other people's stuff. Okay, I've seen some baby arms come out of me once upon a time.
Oh, nice. But so what I'm saying, Jesus Christ. So what I'm saying is that this is the problem, D. Now you can look up, the statistics on how many times this has happened. But you never heard of blue ice. I'm teaching you something. I'm teaching people out
you know
there.
what? This might be the first time that I can say, you know what, this might be a problem.
It is.
Because I don't want someone to dump their blue ice on me when I'm just walking down the street.
Exactly.
Well, how do you feel about when they dump fuel though? Because they dump fuel all the time, like
They
an
do.
emergency. They dump
They
fuel,
do.
and that's toxic, man.
It is. It's bad for the environment. So is dumping doo-doo. I mean, that can't be good.
Oh man.
But you're 35,000 feet, and they expect it to. You know what I would like to do?
No?
I would like to get someone here. This is what we do. We're going to get someone from the airlines to come in here and explain to us how the fecal matter dissipates before it hits the ground. Because most of the time they say it's harmless.
Well, yeah, if it's urine, because it'll. So what happens is if you dump fluid from that height, there's so much air in between and molecules. A lot of it's going to get absorbed.
Okay.
And it'll aerate.
Sure.
And it's going to dissipate. The problem is if you're low and the temperature's low, say you're not at 30,000 feet, say you're at 10,000 feet.
Sure.
And then you drop a log. It's not just urine. It's not just blue water.
Oh, I know. That's
Yeah.
what they're saying.
That's
Now
like a
imagine
giant.
Yeah, you having a picnic with Carmen, right? Chilling.
We do that every once in a while.
Okay. And you outside and you get pelted with blue ice.
Well, now I
Are
know.
you suing?
Yeah.
Would you really?
If I know what airline it was, of course. How bad did it hurt me? Did it just get on me?
But this right here damaged this woman's house.
Okay, yeah. Well, then I would say she's got a claim because there should be a
Yes.
protocol for airlines where you
Yes.
can dump your doo-doo.
And then think about this. She could have gotten hepatitis. C through E.
Well, I mean, come on.
What?
She'd have to be like opening her mouth and getting a lot of it.
Do you know how that's disgusting that is? And you both you and I are pretty much, well, I think me more than you, germaphobes.
Well, yeah, I am a germaphobe, but I am never. I have heard of them dumping fuel. I did not know they could dump. Now, on the old trains, when you were driving on a train back in the old days,
Okay.
when you would flush, it just went out onto the track. Like you didn't have a tank.
I knew
catching
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would just open
I knew
right
that.
up. So you never want, that whole thing. Hey, everybody, you want to go see a dead body? Oh, stand by me. They're not going to find a dead body as fast as they're going to find doo-doo on the track. They're going to get hepatitis. Those little kids.
My buddies and I, when kids played outside, we used to walk on the train tracks, and that was the biggest deal. I mean, we loved that. Now that I think about it, I was stepping in.
You were stepping in doo-doo. But,
Yeah.
I mean, that's more for passenger trains. I think now they don't do that anymore, like
Oh.
Amtrak and stuff. But back in the old days.
Oh, I know.
Back in the old days, it was just, they just dump it right out on the
Yeah.
track.
I just thought this was a good PSA for people.
That is a good PSA.
to know.
And so, in the spirit of the new year, and we're talking about some Winston-Salem stuff, I got a little story for you.
Okay.
And this is a problem, GC. This is a problem. We got a problem here in Winston-Salem. We got a problem.
All right. Let's get it.
Was it yesterday? What is today? The 15th? All right.
Yes.
So I think it was yesterday. In Winston-Salem, a man was arrested after allegedly stealing a school bus in Winston-Salem at about 4:10 p.m. Sunday. This is according to myfox8, by the way, .com. At about 4:10 p.m. Sunday, police responded to a report of a stolen school bus. Investigators found the bus on Peters Creek Parkway, which is very close to both of us,
Right.
and tried to pull the bus over. The driver, however, did not stop, instead driving over the median into oncoming traffic. It drove for about a mile before crashing into a field. No one was injured. So here's my question.
Okay.
I got a question for you. How high How high do you have to be to steal a school bus and not stop for the police and drive it into a field? What is going on in Winston-Salem?
Look it. You had to be really high to steal a school bus, first of all. And you mean allegedly? Allegedly? What do you mean? That somebody stole a bus, and from what I understand, he went into oncoming traffic, right?
Yeah, and his name. Police say Joseph Spainhour was behind the wheel. Was the only person on the bus, charged with felony larceny of a motor vehicle, felony fleeing to elude, and multiple Chapter 20 violations. The side of the bus reads Carter G. Woodson School.
Oh, that's the charter school.
Yes.
Oh, man.
So, dude, one, where to get the keys, unless he's the bus driver.
Right.
And, like, okay, you want to steal a vehicle, man. You want to steal a vehicle. Who the hell steals a school bus, man? Who steals a school bus?
I don't know, because it wouldn't have been me because I didn't like school from day one.
I know but he didn't even stop, man. Like the police, woo, 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 stop. Hey, sir, stop the bus, sir.
Yeah.
Nah.
How do you get him? Well, how did he get him to stop? Did he didn't he go into an open field?
He drove into a field. Yeah, he crashed it.
He crashed it?
Yeah.
Son of a. You know what?
How high do you have to be to steal the school bus?
You want me to say it?
Yeah. Yeah, say it.
How high do you have to get to steal a school bus? You know what he was on, right? You
No.
ever done shrooms?
Oh, wait. I don't want to say that on air.
Oh.
Yes, maybe I have.
Well,
Maybe I have.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly I have done shrooms.
Well, I mean, that's really shroomy right there to take a school bus.
I mean, on the Magic School Bus, that's like, what's the song? The Yellow Bus?
Magic
Bus. Magic Bus.
By The Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. He was taking a Magic Bus
Great
ride.
song, by the way.
Great song, by the way.
Yeah.
So, hey, I think we did it, man.
I think we did, man.
But
but I just want to say thank you, and I look forward to another year.
I do too. And hey, I would love it if you would tell everybody our website and how they can get in touch with us right now.
It's about gdtimeshow.com.
And please send us any suggestions you have.
Right.
We are going to start doing interviews with local people. We want to hear your stories. We want to talk about you. We want to make fun of you as much as we can. Today was a little more reverent because I couldn't make any jokes about MLK Jr. because I'm white.
Yeah.
If I was black, it'd still be too soon.
Yeah.
It's still too soon.
That's
It's just
that
not the right
bullshit
thing
right
to
there,
do.
yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But we would like to start having people on who have great stories. We already have some lined up for you.
Yes.
But if you have any suggestions, please. And remember to leave us a review and give us a 5-star, 4-star. How many stars is it? I don't know. But make sure you like us, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, do all those things. Find us on YouTube.
Exactly. And then look, if we're coming to a bar near you, we're going to wait till you get good and drunk, and we're going to do interviews, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to be drunk because I'm shy. I'm very shy in person.
No, I'm talking about people on the street. We're going to pull people off the street.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're going to randomly interview people. And it's always fun when you have verkauft.
What's verkauft?
I don't know.
That sounds Yiddish.
It is a little Yiddish.
Oy vey.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, remind me to send you something about some New York Jews, a sect of New York Jews. I think you'll find it interesting.
Okay. Well, I would like to send it to all of our listeners, too.
Nah. Okay.
All right, so we're going to let you guys go. We're at about an hour right now. Thank you for listening. This is going to be a great season. We got a lot of new stuff, new platform for you to listen to. We're also going to have some new music soon because this little garage band outro that we've been using is a little tired. But I was too lazy to get us something new. But I'll get something new next time.
These going to write us something. It's coming.
I am. It's going to be rap.
Right. Oh, but
hip
we're
hop.
going to have that tight stuff, man. I got you, brother. I got you.
Do you want some country?
Hell no. No.
I'm going to write you like a Swiftie type song.
No. Oh. Well, you got to watch out.
Swiftie.
I ain't saying about the black Hebrew Israelites. You don't say shit about Taylor Swift.
Oh.
The Swifties are coming, baby.
Swiftie is. She's the power.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to write a song like her. I'm kidding.
Maybe that's why Travis can't catch shit. But, that's different.
Different day.
Trav, I'm just
Different
kidding,
day.
bro. Just kidding.
No, Trav, he's really serious. All right. So here we go. I'm taking us out. We'll see you next week. Uh-oh. I keep forgetting to do the volume button. Ready?
If you don't use it, you lose it. Can't take it. The waste your time to think it.
Hey, I just noticed your shirt says FDNY. Fire Department of the City of New York.
Yeah. This is about the flying doo-doo, baby.